Hi, I'm Jacob Gallucci, and I have a story to share with you today. A couple days ago, I went to this Brazilian steakhouse in Chicago called Fogo de Chão. It's not Fogo de Chão, as most people think. It's actually Fogo de Chão, and it's really good. It's at LaSalle and Erie in Chicago's River North neighborhood. And they have a great salad bar, and their meat, all their meats are really good. And I was there with my dad, and the place was pretty crowded. We went there for dinner at around 4 o'clock, and as I was sitting down, it's hard to believe who I saw. Like 15 feet away from me, I saw Joakim Noah. I swear to God, Joakim Noah, yes. He was there with this one white guy and this one black woman, and he was like probably 15 feet away. That's it. It's crazy, but it's true. He was sort of... Him and the two other people were sitting away from like everybody else, but it was definitely him. And he was wearing a white shirt and I want to say jeans and gym shoes, and he was wearing this red stocking cap. It sort of looked like a Santa Claus hat, but it wasn't. And it's crazy. Joakim Noah. And he got up a little later, and he's so big. My God, he's 6'11". He's huge, this guy. And I didn't go up to him. No one did, actually. I'm kind of glad no one else. I'm kind of glad nobody did, because I hate these idiot fans that go up to players like, "Hey, Joakim Noah, can I get your autograph?" I'm not one of those people. I've never been like that. I don't bother athletes or other celebrities when they're trying to enjoy their meal or whatever. And it was just weird to see him, and it's strange because the Bulls were actually playing that night against the Indiana Pacers, and Noah didn't even play in that game. He has plantar fasciitis in his right foot, and he hasn't played in the last couple games. He didn't play yesterday either against the Minnesota Timberwolves, and hopefully he'll be okay. And it was just weird. It really blew my mind. I was starstruck. I'll admit it, I was. I was like, wow, Joakim Noah. And he had his hair was tied up in the back like it usually is, and it was just amazing. Joakim Noah, yeah. And he's not the first famous person I've seen in my life, up close, no. I've actually seen many others throughout the years. I saw Will Perdue twice in my life. Twice, yes, the former Bulls center. He was on the first three championship teams in the early 90s. I saw him in, I want to say it was the summer of 1993. It was on Taylor Street, and I was with my mom and dad at Al's Beef, and Will Perdue was across the street at Mario's Italian Lemonade. I think he was with at least one or two other people, and about 10 years later I saw him at Nordstrom. Nordstrom is the shoe store. Well, they have shoes and clothing. It's in River North in Chicago, and I was there that day with my dad, and I want to say it was like the fall of 2003. It was me, my dad, and one of the guys working at the shoe store. He was taking care of us, and we were talking about, athletes with big feet. We were talking about like Shaq and many others, and Will Perdue. We mentioned Will Perdue, and weird thing is, like maybe like 10 minutes after we talked about players with big feet, Will Perdue walked by. Yes, Will Perdue walked by. He was with his wife, I want to say, or maybe girlfriend, and he's huge. Will Perdue's like 7'1", and I actually went up to him and shook his hand, and I was saying, we were just talking about you. We were saying like how a lot of these players have big feet like you and Shaq, and it just blew my mind. He's huge. Will Perdue. I shook his hand. It was like this big. Yeah, Will Perdue. And I also saw Bill Wennington once. Bill Wennington, I saw him in the fall of 1998. I was at a Blackhawks game, and I actually went up to him and got his autograph. He signed a hat. He signed a hat that I had. I want to say it was either a Bulls or a Blackhawks hat, but he signed it, and I still have it at home somewhere. But I also met a Chicago Cubs catcher. His name is Mike Hubbard. Mike Hubbard was a backup catcher with the Cubs in the late 90s. He played from about 1996 until about, I think, through about 97. And the Cubs catchers back then were Scott Service and Tyler Houston, but Hubbard was like the third catcher. He didn't play much, but I met him actually. He lived not far from my house, and I went up to him and shook his hand, and he signed a Cubs hat that I had, and I want to say he was with his girlfriend that night, and it was just really cool. And well, I live near a former major league catcher named Mark D'Alessandro. He's a nice guy, and I saw him up close many times. And let's see, Chris Zorich I saw at Walgreens once. The former Bears defensive lineman, I saw him at Walgreens at Roosevelt Road and Canal. Like I think it was the day it opened actually in the fall of 1998. I just couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, Chris Zorich, and he signed a Bears hat that I had. And who else? I've seen. Well, I had this class field trip in 4th grade at my grade school, and we went to the Fairmont Hotel, and a former student in that class had designed a mini version of the Fairmont Hotel, and him and a few other people from his class were there with us. And this was on the news actually, and it's crazy that Mayor Daley was there. Yes, Mayor Daley was actually there at the Fairmont Hotel that day, and so was former Governor Jim Edgar. And believe it or not, Bozo the Clown was actually there too. Yes, Bozo the Clown. It's crazy. I was amazed. Like the mayor, the governor, and Bozo the Clown all in the same room. It was incredible. And I've also seen there's this restaurant, this diner at actually it's on Madison and Loomis Street called the Palace Grill. It's a pretty famous diner. A lot of Blackhawk players go there, and Blackhawk coaches too, but I've never seen any Blackhawk players or coaches there. In my time going there, I've seen former Bulls player and studio analyst Norm Van Leer. He's been dead a few years, but I saw him there once. He was really nice. I remember. He was really a nice guy. And I saw Jennifer Weigel there. She's a news reporter. She's Tim Weigel's daughter. Tim Weigel's the former sportscaster on ABC7. I saw Jennifer Weigel, his daughter, and let's see, I saw Mark Giangreco once. Mark Giangreco is the legendary sportscaster from Channel 5 and now Channel 7. He's been on Channel 7 for many years. He was really a nice guy. He was. And let's see, believe it or not, Janet Davies and Dick Johnson actually stopped at my dad's office once. Not on different times, actually. And they were very nice. And let's see, there have been others, but it's just weird to see, all these famous people at different times. I saw Tom Thibodeau, I want to say a couple of weeks ago. I was walking at Staten Lake, where ESPN Radio's studios are. They're next to Channel 7's news studio, and Tom Thibodeau was in there with Carmen DeFalco and Yurko and Carmen and Yurko. It was Carmen DeFalco and John Yurkovich. He was in there talking to them, and I was like, wow, Tom Thibodeau. It just blew my mind. And well, I've seen athletes up close at sporting events, but never actually, not many. I haven't seen too many like in person. I think I saw Tyson Chandler once at a White Sox game, the former Bulls center. I saw him at a White Sox game. He was signing autographs that night, and well, people came up to him getting autographs, and he's huge too. Tyson Chandler, yeah. It's just amazing, and there have been others, but can't recall. I can't recall too many more at this point, but it was cool to see Joakim Noah the other day at Fogarty's show. It really blew my mind. But anyway, I'm sorry for rambling, but I'll be back tomorrow with 2 new videos, and until then, take care.